why you should write an essay. Those students are they're going to participate, or they might have thought that why we will be writing an essay for. We definitely there should have some benefits. So let me clear one by one. And this is an academic activity. So being an Ayurvedic scholar, this is nothing more beyond your academics. So it is inside your curriculum. So you have to give some time to write something from your science. So that is why it's important, and it definitely develop a skill of writing, because this is a very initiative stage, that what Vishwa Ayurveda Parishad has given a platform to encourage the students to inculcate the culture of writing. And by this writing, definitely the students will develop a skill. It will definitely ignite your analytical and critical thought process, opportunity to share or interact in a national platform. So you will have definitely scope to not only national, in future also. There are so many organizations or agencies are organizing different kinds of essay competition. So there is definitely opportunity to have interact with the international platform also. And definitely you will get the recognition, not only you, your teachers, your mentors, your college, your institutions, or your university will get recognized by your achievement. And lastly, not least, but that is the chances of getting prize and certificate. Actually, this is not the primary focus of our writing. That is why I have kept it at the last point, because many of you are writing the essay competition. It does not mean that you will get the prize or subsequently the certificate. It should not be in your mind that while you are writing you will get the prize, but you have to involve in actively writing process. So whenever you have been provided a particular topic, so what should be in your mind? तो आपके दिमाग में, आपके मन में कुछ बातें ऐसी आनी चाहिए. मैं सोचता हूँ कि क्या क्या आपके मन में ये बातें आनी चाहिए. तो ये बातें ऐसी होती है कि जो टॉपिक दी जाती है, व्हाट एवर द कंटेंट्स बीन प्रोवाइडेड टू यू बाय द ऑर्गेनाइजर्स. For example, this the last time I will not discuss the topic whatever given in this time. For example, I am just quoting the last topic whatever for the UG essay competition provided to the student. That is the importance and applicability of Srotas in the treatment of disease. So this is the content, right? So why you have to think many times about the content. You have to think what are the words, what are the meaning of that particular technical terms. So that you should have to think that content or the topic in your mind frequently. Then you have to make some points focusing on the topic. For example, concept of Srotas, Srotas Dushtis, and so on. There are so many points that should definitely strike your mind. So you have to think this, that what are the sub-content or then process of presentation that will make your essay a nice one. So and you have also decide some objectives. For objectives means when you have decided that these are the sub-contents or contents of your writing. So at the same time you have to keep in your mind that what will be your objectives in the body or main content of your writing. So like for example, what is the nirukti of Srotas, or what is the definition of Srotas, what are the function, what are the anatomical consideration, or likewise what is the role in the disease pathogenesis or treatment, etc. So accordingly you have to go to the literature related to that topic. So it may be your Ayurvedic literature, maybe modern reviews, particularly those are relevant to that particular topic. Then different studies, it may be pharmacological, pharmacognostical, phytochemical, or clinical, or even survey also. So these kinds of resources you have to collect. Okay, so this is the part that from your side you have to do. And second part, this is also a very important, that you have to select your mentor or you have to consult with your teacher. This is a very important thing, because what I personally during this last 11 years, what I personally experienced, that students are very rarely used to come to their teacher to ask that how to write. So that is why I must say that teachers also have some role to motivate the students, that they should be involved in such kinds of writing. So it's a, again, I will say to the student, because you have to meet your teacher, your guide, or your mentor. It may be not only your teacher, it may be your seniors, or maybe your friends. So you have to discuss the topic thoroughly. So it will give some source of information or some importance inputs in your content. So that always be remembered, ABC of any writing, not only essay, it's maybe a scientific paper writing. So always you have to avoid vague term, means अस्पष्ट कोई भी terminology आपको use नहीं करना चाहिए. Avoid approximation, जैसे ये हो सकता है, वो हो सकता है, maybe, may not be, और आपने एक range बता दिया यहाँ, ये these are not actually be there. आपको to the point होना चाहिए, and unnecessary statements you have to avoid. जो is not related to your topic, that statement should be avoided. And when you are writing an essay, that should be very simple and easy to understand to everyone. So this again, a very writing ethics is very important. Be neutral. Be neutral. Why I am just mentioning this thing? Because sometimes whenever we are writing an essay, particular to Ayurvedic viewpoint, many of times we have seen we are exaggerating our feelings that Ayurveda has all the drugs that can cure anything else. So it should not be like that. You should not claim anything. So means you should be neutral, means you are not talking of any positive or any negative things of any science. Don't make assumptive statement, that is in may be or may not be like that, things are should not be there. And when you are writing, your writing flow is like that, that there is always be a link between the sentences or between the paragraphs. So when a person or even a judge, when evaluating your essay competition, that they should have an idea that yes, whatever the scholar has written, it has a definite linkage. So that link should be maintained. Quantitative descriptions always there when we are mentioning, for example, temperature. So temperature is not like low or high, that you should give a particular unit, or the terms like excellent, better, etc. These terminologies should always be avoided. So an important thing, that part will be discussed later on by our speaker, that is always cite the reference in your essay. So it is very important, a part of this writing. So now that is the step to organize. How will you organize your essay? So when you have a blueprint of your writing, after thinking many times and discussing with your mentors, so if you feel that there will be some table or some figures or graphs, etc., so I will suggest that first prepare these things, because what happened when you will make these things, it will give an broad idea of your content. Then you have to write the material and methods. Means what are the material and methods you have adopted. For example, the last essay, the title was, that is the importance and applicability of sutras. So I will say that here material and methods will be like your anatomical consideration of sruta, physiological consideration of srutas, role of srutas in disease pathogenesis, and role of srutas in management of disease, role of srutas in preventive health. Like that, means there are so many scope, many drugs that are influencing the srutas. Okay, then rasayan and srutas. So these are some of the concepts that you can collect in the material and methods. Then write the discussion. We'll come once by one all the questions, then conclusion and last introduction, and lastly that is the abstract. This is the way we have to structure, where we have to organize our essay competition. So this is nothing but that all thing I have highlighted. So sometimes actually we see we have sometimes used the keywords, but it's not always. But you have to, why I have given the keywords, because you know whoever the coming first, second or third in this essay competition, their essay is going to publish in the journal. So that is why it is an important for the journal format. So it's better to provide some keywords of your essay. So these are the structure, or these are the contents that we'll discuss one by one. So prepare the figures and table first. Why? Because it says thousands of words. By a figure, graphs and table, you can communicate very in concise way and in a catchy way. Means whenever a judge or evaluator look into your evaluate your essay, it will give a positive influence and positive impact to their mind. So that is why it's very important. And step 2 is the material and methods. Now, what is material and methods means? It is just you are mentioning what are the procedures or what is the concept you have taken to discuss the entire topic. And always this should be in chronological order. Means starting from the concept. For example, you are writing Srota. So first you have to write down the Nirukti, then definition. It should not be like that first. What is that means? Srotas in treatment, role of Srota in the management of the disease. It's not like that. It means management of disease comes at the last. So chronological things you have to chronologically have to mention, and you have to mention what are the resources you have discussed, or you have referred. So these are like what are the Ayurvedic texts or modern texts or any commentaries you have discussed, any search engine you have used during this. So these are the things you have to calculate. So here you have to mention how did you do it. मतलब आपने जो ऐसे लिखा है उसको आपने कैसे किया है. मीन्स क्या क्या चीजें आपने ली है, क्या क्या चीजें इसमें डिस्कस की, क्या क्या चीज आपने इसको एनालाइज की है, एक्सप्लोर की है. ठीक है, तो वो चीज दैट थिंग्स यू हैव टू कंपेल हियर. फॉर एग्जांपल मैंने एक दिया कि मान ली आपका मेथोडोलॉजी क्या होना चाहिए. So methodology for, because essay competition, essay writing is a literary review. It is nothing like clinical study, experimental study. So that is why you have to write, for example, an extensive literary research of Brihatrayi along with commentaries has been conducted to collect references on different aspects of the subject. Means subject, suppose here Srotas. Okay, multiple data sources like Science Direct, PubMed, Springer or Google Scholars are reviewed for the related published works on that topic, right? And also you can write this also consulted and considered for preparing this essay. Then you also, if you feel that some experimental, clinical or some phytochemical data are required, so you also write down that the data you are obtained from this review, animal experimental, and this way you have to give a brief of the methodologies. Means what are, how did you do it? Means आपने क्या क्या इसमें किए हैं, क्या क्या कंसल्ट किए हैं, किस चीज को आपने रेफर किए हैं. So that is a good way to project your methods or materials in this section. Then after that you have to write discussion. So what is discussion actually? Discussion means it is your input. A scholar gives his input on the basis of the findings or observation he found during the literary research. आपने जो चरक संहिता, सुश्रुत संहिता या कमेंट्रीज से जो भी कुछ आपने लिए हैं, उसके साथ जो टॉपिक है उसको आप किस तरह से कोरिलेट कर रहे हैं, आपका एनालिटिकल थॉट क्या है, आपका उसको किस क्रिटिकली आप उसको देख रहे हैं, आप उसमें आप क्या नया चीज आप दे रहे हैं, आपका व्यू पॉइंट क्या है. दैट्स एवरीथिंग शुड बी कम इन द डिस्कशन पार्ट. And discussion always in the chronological way again. So in the discussion part, you have to discuss introduction, material mentors. Okay, these all the things will come. Then that is, you have to interpret the review of works. Then also some questions are there in the original questions that will put, I will later on I will come in the introduction part. So before writing, we have to put some question. Means what are the questions, then why it is important, what I am going to do, what have already been done, what will be left to be done. So these are the things, these are certain questions that should be arise in your mind, and that should be critically or analytically discussed in this part. And also you have to include some limitation of your essay writing. Means it is not that whatever you have written, it is sufficient enough. No, you have to put something that during writing, I felt these things that this should not be applied this way, or this should not be considered in this way. So these are certain limitations you have to write there. And what kind of future research would be necessary? Means what you feel, that what you got and you feel that from the existing knowledge, what are the advances that required in the future. So that should also be a part of this discussion. Okay, and explain what is new in your essay without exaggerating. Means after writing this essay, what you got the new thing that you should mention there, and don't introduce any new statement in this portion. That is, what does it all mean? Means what about the observations you have mentioned in the findings in the material and method section? You have to answer this, what these findings actually mean. Then next one is the conclusion. Remember that it impresses the judge during evaluation of an essay. So your conclusion is first part, but I feel that a judge or any evaluator first go to the conclusion, that he have to evaluate from the conclusion about your entire picture. So that is why conclusion would be very scientific and very attractive. So this section shows how the writing advances from the present state of knowledge. Means you have in the conclusion you have to mention that that is the thing what I got, but in future that thing should be done. So that is actually the important. For example, I am just putting this again, this sutta. For example, nowadays you know the COVID-19 is a global pandemic, emerging pandemic. So what will be your thinking or your ideas regarding the concept of srotas in COVID-19? So if you think like this way, that if we give any drugs which is acting on the srota or which cleanses the srotas, whether it is beneficial for COVID-19 or in the prevention of the COVID-19. So these kinds of the new thing that should become emerges from that part. So that is the thing that could be included in the conclusion. And always provide a clear scientific justification for your writing in this part. Means why you have chosen this topic, what you have given the inputs, you have to justify. And also, if possible, you have to give a sentence, a line of further extension of the research or further extension of the study of this current topic. So now that is the introduction. So always introduction should be written in an inverted pyramidal shape. Means part you have broad your scope, and gradually you have to tapering it down. So first you have to consider what is your topic, then come to the contents. Means divide each words of the content. Then you have to find out what are the existing knowledge of the each part of the content. Then you have to think what is the knowledge gap, means what is already there and what is not in present era, and what is the important or relevant of this subject or topic given to you, what are the main limitation, and what will be your contribution or new ideas and thought. These all things should be come in the chronological way and in a inverted pyramidal shape in this introduction part. And so here I am just omitting this thing. Here you see that is write the background, that why you have chosen this topic or this topic has been given to you. What is the purpose? Answer all the listed question already I mentioned to the point, and don't make it in a history like you know the UG BMS students are very acquainted with answer the 20 marks question. So this should not be like that. So it should be very concise and to the point answer. And finally the last one is the abstract. So again abstract is very important because it's give a rather you can say it's a very commercial term, that is the advertisement of your writing. Means it means that what are the अगर आप ऐसे शुद्ध हिंदी में कहें कि मसाला क्या है आपने जो लिखा है ऐसे में उसमें क्या मसाला है, आपने क्या मसाला डाला, तो उस मसाले का जो एक रिफ्लेक्शन ये है आपका एब्स्ट्रैक्ट. सो इसलिए एब्स्ट्रैक्ट को आप कैसे लिखते हैं, दैट इज द शॉर्ट डिस्क्रिप्शन ऑफ द पर्सपेक्टिव, मींस व्हाट यू रोट एंड पर्पस, व्हाई यू रोट. तो ये जो दो चीज आपको इस एब्स्ट्रैक्ट में आना चाहिए, और साथ में थोड़ा बहुत समरी along with your interpretation. And the conclusion in the, preferably in the last sentence, always reflects the conclusion of your finding. Means that is very clear picture. That is आपने why you have written this, means what you have written and why you have written. That should be reflected in your abstract part. And this is finally, it's very interesting too, means it should be very easily understood without any means vague term, or you can see irrelevant terminology should not be there, and uncommon abbreviations are always not be preferred at certain other than the certain scientific abbreviations may be used, and references should not be there in the abstract part. In body part, introduction, even in discussion, you can include the reference, but in abstract, you should not mention any reference. Finally, that is what about, you can say the how you are writing an essay. And finally, I will conclude with this, my personal experience. That is very important. The willingness of the students. Willingness of the students is important. They should come forward with a mind set up to actively participate in the writing. Then only you will get a good mentor. But I feel otherwise it's always being a problem to go frequently to the classroom, or give the circular in the WhatsApp group nowadays. And no, even I feel many of the, I have also circulated this Vishwa Ayurveda Parishad essay competitions, this one pamphlets, but response from the students is very less, what I feel personally, because my dear students don't mind otherwise, because what my personal feelings in during this last 11 years, I feel that your willingness matters. क्योंकि जब आप मन बना लेंगे तो आपको कोई ना कोई गाइड, कोई ना कोई मेंटर आपको जरूर मिलेंगे। और नतीजा ये रहा, क्योंकि मैंने आज तक 2 बैच को मैंने गाइड किया, और 2 बैच में से 3 स्टूडेंट्स ने अवार्ड लिए हैं 2 साल में। सो दिस इज गुड to see the students who are coming from their own side. They are always have some potentiality to write this essay like things. So that is why I will always say you, yes, please create your willingness, and always you involve with your mentor. Keep nowadays that school colleges are probably not in running condition, so you are all maybe in home, or doing all the activities online. So it's important you please talk to your mentor, your teacher, that you are really want to participate. So definitely I think you will success. So with these words, I thanks all the respected members of this Vishwa Ayurveda Parishad. It's really a great approach they have taken, and it is really a new kind of things I have ever experienced in my life. So I congratulate all the members of the Vishwa Ayurveda Parishad, and my deepest regards to Dr. Suren Chaudhary sir, Dr. K.K. Divedi sir, Dr. Ramtirtha sir, in fact, Dr. Manish ji, Dr. Vijay ji, and my all fellow colleagues, Dr. Shobha madam and Dr. Shivani madam. And good wishes all the students. Please come on and try to write, at least try to write. Okay, because future is waiting for you. So don't stop, keep writing. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Binay ji, for this wonderful input or insight to the students, how they can proceed essay writing in a very good manner. And as you clearly mentioned in your presentation that you had been associated with so many essay competitions. So it's really very beneficial to all the participating students to watch you and to listen your words very carefully, and they can be good essay writers, and not only their language will be enhanced, but they may be able to grab some prizes in cash or certificate citations and like that. And thank you very much, Dr. Binay Sen. So please, now you can stop your presentation. I request all the participants, there are some questions that we are write downing. We will take question hour at the end of this session, because your question may be answered by the next speaker also. So please be patient, and yes, keep pointing out your answers in the chat box. We will try to pacify your all questions during our question session. Now I will like to invite Dr. Shivani ji for her presentation, and thank you, Dr. Shivani. Now it's
So my screen is visible to all of you.
yes, ma'am.
Good evening to everyone. Myself Dr. Shivani Gildiar, and at the outset I want to thank Vishwa Ayurveda Parishad and all the members of Vishwa Ayurveda Parishad for giving me opportunity to interact with the students from this wonderful platform. As discussed by Binay Sen sir, that Vishwa Ayurveda Parishad is